Hello, good morning. Welcome back to my channel. And as you can see, I have this Twitter account of mine pulled up, and the face of Senator Koko Pimentel is showing. Right, so this is going to be another unscripted live commentary or vlogging, and we're gonna talk about the timeline of Mr. Pimentel's exposure and knowledge. Okay, these are two issues: knowledge of his exposure and the exposure itself, and what did he do about it. All right, so I'm a bit disappointed that a lot of people missed the timeline factor, because that's very important to tell whether this senator is lying or not, because he's really smart. Okay, he's not stupid, although I said that he's stupid, but he's actually criminally negligent and stupid at the same time. So it's a good thing that Rappler listed or collated the timeline of what went on before. All right, and it's gonna give us an idea as to whether this senator, reckless, irresponsible senator, is lying through his teeth and to the Filipino people. So just like the hashtag, the very popular hashtag for more than a week already, China lied, people died. So this one put the lives, this senator of the Philippines, okay, he was once a Senate president in the Senate of the Philippines. Okay, take note of that. Senate president, one of the top officials of the land before, and of course he's a senator still. So he put the lives and limbs of not just his daughter, his newly born daughter, his wife, but also frontliners at the Makati Medical Center. Okay, so take note of these facts. So alright, so before we get to the timeline, let's just check what's going on Twitter as we speak. So there's this very witty infographic, or probably let's call it a meme. Right, so breaking news: confirmed COVID-19 cases in the Philippines. New cases 84, deceased 38. People died of the virus. 26 recovered, which is the good news, and 1 tanga, stupid or negligent, and that's Mr. Koko Pimentel. As expected, 2 hours ago from the Manila Bulletin, they posted Senator Koko Pimentel's apology. By the way, Senator Koko Pimentel's full or complete name is Aquilino Martin de Laliana Pimentel III. Okay, that's quite a long name, and he graduated. Just a bit of a background, by the way. He's an alumnus of Ateneo de Manila University, where he graduated in college, and for his law school degree, he's a graduate or a product of the University of the Philippines, and he topped, the bar exams for potential lawyers or liars in 1990. So he's definitely smart. Let's give him that. As he said in his main slogan in his senatorial campaign, use your cocote. But he should have heeded that advice of him. Alright, so let's read from the Manila Bulletin News. Senator Koko Pimentel sincerely and profoundly apologizes to Makati Medical Center, appeals anew for understanding and compassion, and allow me first to recover from COVID-19. Well, he needed to apologize because before that, or yesterday, Makati Medical Center strongly denounced the senator for being reckless and irresponsible. So let's just, this is, a scathing denunciation that a hospital can make against a public official of the land. Okay, this is probably the strongest, okay, official statement of a famous or popular hospital in the country. So MMC denounces breach of protocol. So according to, let me just read the note here. We denounce the irresponsible and reckless action of the Senator Aquilino Pimentel III. He added to the burden of a hospital trying to respond in its most competent and aggressive manner to cope with the daunting challenges of the COVID-19 outbreak. More than anyone else, Mr. Pimentel should have realized the ardent desire of every well-meaning Filipino in every dedicated healthcare institutions to contain the spread of the infection. His admonition for everyone to observe social distancing, enhanced community quarantine measures, washing of hands, and personal hygiene are nothing but empty rhetoric because he himself violated all those. So basically, MMC or the Makati Medical Center administration is saying Mr. Pimentel is a hypocritical and stupid and reckless, irresponsible individual. And for that, he apologized today. Okay, let's read an excerpt of his apology. In this particular apology of him, but also in his succeeding interviews or probably previous interviews with top TV networks like GMA7 and CNN Philippines. So the reason why I went to MMC in the evening of March 24, 2020 was to accompany my pregnant wife to the hospital for a scheduled delivery by cesarean section the following morning. I apologize to MMC for being in the hospital in the evening of March 2020, which they deemed to be a breach. It's not deemed, it's official breach, which they deemed to be a breach of their safety containment protocols. Okay, so they arrive at the MMC at around 6 to 7 p.m. So he's giving us his own timeline. Okay, RITM called me at 9 p.m. of March 24, 2020 to inform me of the positive COVID result. I was already inside the hospital when I got the information. I immediately informed the OB/GYN doctor assisting my wife about the result, and that's how they knew about it. And then left the hospital premises. I was not coughing, I didn't have. So basically, he's saying or telling us that he is or he was asymptomatic. He's not showing any symptoms at all. So let's just take his words for it, shall we? Okay. I'm not coughing, I didn't have fever the short time I was in the MMC premises and was wearing face mask and gloves. But here's the thing, I'm still interested to know the timeline as to whether he was negligent, criminally negligent, and stupid. All right, so let's just watch his interview with Jessica Soho.
Senator Pimentel. Magandang gabi po, Senator Pimentel.
Jessica, magandang gabi po sa lahat.
Bago po ang lahat, kamustahin po muna namin kayo. May symptoms po ba kayong nararamdaman? How are you feeling right now?
Well, I'm up and about. Okay naman po. Sana ay ang kalaban kasi nito hindi natin nakikita kaya mahirap magsalita eh.
Okay. Mabigat po yung statement ng Makati Med. You were reckless daw at nabawasan patuloy daw yung kanilang mga tauhan dahil naka-home quarantine kayo. Bakit pa ho kayo nagpunta daw ng ospital? Tuloy, nagkaroon ho ng problema sa kanilang ospital.
Well, una sa lahat, yung home quarantine ko is the general quarantine natin lahat, di ba? Na kung non-essential movement, huwag na tayong gagalaw. Wala naman akong positive test noon at manganganak ang misis mo. Sa mata ko, this is an essential movement kasi manganganak eh. So sinong sino sasama sa mga anak na misis ko, hindi si Mister. And then, basta nang nalaman ko po yun sa tinawagan na po ng RITM, 9 p.m. na po kagabi. Nasa hospital na po ako.
Alright, that's all we need to know about Senator Aquilino Pimentel's thought process. He put everyone at risk at the Makati Medical Center. I was really interested in his thought process. So basically here he's saying that first, he's not showing any symptoms at all. He's not coughing. That's his reasoning. Second, he just got the result, or he got the result by 9 p.m. yesterday, or no, 2 days ago on the 24th, or that's about 2 to 3 hours after they entered the hospital. And third, he's claiming that home quarantine has exceptions, okay? And the exceptions are essential activities. He's saying that, accompanying his wife to the hospital or to Makati Medical Center is an essential movement, as he said in the interview with Jessica Soho. But let's check on the timeline. As a senator, as someone who topped the bar exam in 1990, as a former Senate President of the land, we expect that this person should not be really academically smart. So what we're trying to drive at here is, does Mr. Aquilino Pimentel III have common sense? Keeping these three reasoning of him in mind, let's just look at the timeline listed or collated by Rappler. All right, so and by this, okay, I'm going to destroy all his three alibis, okay, one by one. Okay, so first, what happened before? Here's a timeline of what happened. On March 11, 9 p.m., Senator Sherwin Gatchalian announces that a resource person in a Senate hearing he had presided over had acquired coronavirus disease or COVID-19. Gatchalian says he will place himself under self-quarantine. And Senator Nancy Binay, who was with Gatchalian at the hearing, followed suit. The next day, March 12, at around 10 a.m., Pimentel says he talked to Binay, and this is very important, you people. All right, this is very important because it will tell us whether Mr. Koko Pimentel or Senator Pimentel is lying or simply rationalizing his reasoning about the fact that he didn't get the COVID positive result before he went inside the MMC. All of this could have been avoided if he acted properly and accordingly before, a few days before, on March 12th. So let's just see what happened on March 12th. This is, by the way, documented. Okay, at around 10 a.m., Pimentel says he talked to Binay in Gatchalian, but finds it is not sufficient reason to go on self-quarantine. He's so cocksure, he's so arrogant that, oh no, this is not a sufficient reason to go and self-quarantine. I would love to self-quarantine, but there are things that I still need to do. I talked to both Senators Gatchalian and Binay yesterday. I don't think that's a good reason to go on self-quarantine, but should that be the proper protocol, no problem with me. On this day, at least half of senators start isolating themselves from other people. Mr. Koko Pimentel should have tested, for coronavirus. He should have submitted himself for testing. He did not do that. It looks like the two other senators, Binay and Gatchalian, did. All right. Pimentel says so 2 days later, 2 days after that, on March 14, Pimentel says he starts getting body pains similar to flu symptoms. He starts isolating himself in a different room from his wife. So basically, he's showing symptoms. And when did this is very pertinent to the timeline and to the fact that Mr. Pimentel is negligent, reckless, and responsible. He was already showing symptoms of COVID 19. But when did he decide to be tested? So on March 16, 2 days again after that, Senate Majority Leader Juan Miguel Zubiri announces he has COVID 19. On that particular day, by that time, Mr. Pimentel still refused to be tested for coronavirus. So on March 17, so let's see what happened on March 17. Gatchalian and Binay test negative for coronavirus. So let's just assume Gatchalian and Binay were tested. Okay, submitted themselves for testing 2 days prior. Let's just say 15 of March. So when did Pimentel decide to have himself tested? Not on the 17th, not on the 18th. It was on the 20th. 20th, and he's already showing symptoms 6 days prior. That's how irresponsible and stupid and arrogant he is. The problem is, it's not that you are positive on COVID 19. It's not just that, it's a possibility that you might infect others, especially your wife, your colleagues, your staff. So basically, Mr. Pimentel exposed not just his family, but his entire Senate staff and colleagues as well to the virus. All right, so let's proceed. So, what happened on March 18? Pimentel says he has fever of about 38 degrees. So he's already, and he's lying. Okay, it's not just coughing. He kept on telling the media. Okay, not just on GMA 7 with Jessica Soho, but also with CNN. I watched his interview yesterday when he said also that no, I was not sure, I was not coughing at all. But what happened days prior to that? On March 18, Pimentel says he has fever of about 38 degrees Celsius. And that's one of the symptoms of being positive for coronavirus. He says he also has a sore throat, okay, sore throat, but no difficulty breathing. It's just plain ignorance. This is combination of ignorance, arrogance, negligence, and as they say, stupidity kills. Stupidity kills. And on March 20, Pimentel tests for coronavirus. That's the only time he decided to submit himself for testing. Ladies and gentlemen, after showing, after feeling, after reporting a few of the symptoms, known symptoms of COVID 19, he only submitted himself for testing on March 20th. How irresponsible, how reckless that is, Senator Koko Pimentel. So, the day of the incident, March 24th, around 6 to 7 p.m., this is from his apology as well, which is circulating online. Pimentel and his wife Katharina check in at the Makati Medical Center, and by 9 p.m., that's the only time when he got the result from Research Institute for Tropical Medicine via phone call to inform him of the positive test result. I told the OB even before I told my wife, blah, 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 blah. So let's go back to his alibis, okay? His alibi. He said he did not have coughing. He didn't cough at all. So he's lying. He's lying. So coughing is just one of the main symptoms of coronavirus. Having 38 degrees Celsius temperature is one of the symptoms. Um, Body pains as well is one of the symptoms of coronavirus. Although he didn't have difficulty of breathing, he had sore throat. Based on the circumstantial evidence, based on the timeline of the events, Mr. Koko Pimentel is guilty of stupidity and ignorance. Therefore, he is criminally negligent, and he should face the full force of the law for being so stupid, for violating a lot of protocols or policies by the government. So there is this mandatory reporting, Republic Act 11332, which was enacted in 2018, an act providing policies and prescribing procedures on surveillance and response to notifiable diseases, blah blah blah. Section 9 of the act says non-corporation of persons and entities that should report and or respond to notifiable diseases or health events of public concern. This is one of the prohibited acts. Okay, the other one is non-cooperation of the person or entities identified as having the notifiable disease or affected by the health event of public concern. So, Mr. or Senator Koko Pimentel is guilty of non cooperation and he should be held liable under the law. And according to legal experts in the Philippines, a constitutional law professor from UP, John Molo, he listed down possible, infractions or violations by uh, Aquilino Martin de la Liana Pimentel III or Koko Pimentel. Violation of the laws of the land, non-disclosure of his status as PUI, COVID-19 positive patient, non-cooperation, so I already read that, 11332. Number 2, violation of enhanced community quarantine. So that's one thing. Violation of enhanced community quarantine. This is under Section 8 of RA 9271. Any person who violates any regulations prescribed in this act shall forfeit to the Bureau of Quarantine a fine of not less than 10,000 pesos but not more than 50,000 pesos, or be imprisoned for not more than 1 year or both at the discretion of the court. So criminal negligence as well. Article 365 of the revised penal code. So that's why I kept saying he's criminally negligent. Disobedience to agents of persons and authority. Article 151 of the revised penal code, the penalty of arresto mayor and a fine not exceeding to 500 pesos. Okay, so a lot of disbarment as well. So he can face a lot of cases for his violation because we don't give a damn about whether you're positive. Senator Koko Pimentel, to be honest with you, it's the least of our worries. It's not that you're positive that we're concerned about. It's the fact that you're like a ticking time bomb, okay, that may explode anytime, and you may injure or kill people, because as we know, innocent people. So that's the reason why, and MMC is so frustrated and infuriated by your action, because they may need, and probably they already did, they put their medical staff under quarantine, despite the fact that there are a lot of people that they need to attend to. A lot of patients are being admitted every day according to reports. And not only that, just today we lost another doctor, and this is very, very sad. And it's very emotional to see that some people are so negligent, okay, and irresponsible, knowing the fact that they were already showing symptoms of COVID-19, and still they disregard the ECQ protocols or policies. And today, March 26th, Dr. Sally Gatchalian passed away to COVID-19. And my condolences to the family of this heroic doctor. And I must say that, Koko Pimentel needs to face not home quarantine but house arrest. Okay, in the meantime, as our authorities are still waiting for MMC to file for a complaint, or for any cases, the DOJ is still waiting for any complaints to be filed against the senator. He should be put under house arrest. And that's my comment for today. If you like this video, please like, comment as well if you have something to say, share, and subscribe. And have a good one. Stay safe, everyone.